At this point, I feel that we can all agree that the Senate President, Akpabio, his mouth, he dey draw. His mouth they draw because how in the world will you say to people that they should not protest? And then if they decide to go on protest, you will be in your house eating. That is the most insensitive remark I've ever heard in my life. To start with, people are going on the streets. It's not because they love to. People would love to be at their workplace, earning money. People would love to be at their businesses, making money. But people decided to go out to protest, to say that enough is enough, because nobody in this country will say that he or she does not know what is going on. Even if you have 500,000 naira, it will finish on buying food. Not clothes, take it to the market, it will finish. Because the high rate at which things are being sold in the market, it's, I'm scared. Because what's going to happen in the next 5 years? What are we going to say in the next 5 years? It's just like things just went boom at once, like that. Because now we are not talking about double in price, we are talking about triple what it used to be. Before you could get a tuber of yam for 1,000 naira, 1,002. But now a tuber of yam is being sold for 7,000 naira. And you as a Senate President, it means you are trying to tell us that you are trying to tell us that you are the ones that are hungry. Me, I'm not hungry. You are the ones that are suffering. Me, I'm not suffering. If you decide to go and protest, I still have food I can eat at home. I will still enjoy my life at home and eat comfortably. You are the ones that are hungry. So while you are protesting, I will be eating. Imagine that kind of insensitive statement. Oh my gosh. Before we go ahead with the details of today's news, if this is your first time here or you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do well to subscribe, like this video, leave your opinions in the comment section as well. We congratulate protesters for drawing the attention of politicians eating in Abuja, says Femi Falana. According to Channels Television, human rights lawyer Femi Falana's son has called on President Bola Tinubu to address the demands of the peaceful protesters who have taken to the streets in recent days. In a statement on Sunday, Falana criticized the presidential speech delivered earlier that day, stating it failed to address the key demands of reversing the policy of fuel subsidy removal. If the government takes the fight against corruption to oil dealers and crude oil is processed in government-owned refineries, there will be no basis for fuel subsidy, which is induced by the importation of petroleum products. A positive response to the key demands of the youth to review the protesters could make them review their actions. Insensitivity to their demands can only provoke continued action, Falana said. Falana also praised the protesters for drawing attention to the plight of millions of Nigerians suffering from hunger and poverty. He demanded the immediate and unconstitutional release of all arrested protesters, emphasizing that they had committed no criminal offense. He condemned the repression of peaceful protesters and expressed sympathy for those who lost loved ones during the demonstration. He commiserates with the families of the patriots, peaceful protesters that were killed, and call on the federal and state governments to set up commissions of inquiry, which should include representatives of credible human rights organizations and the NBA, to investigate the killings was a view to bringing justice to the reckless murderers, with a view to bringing to justice the reckless murderers in police uniform and ensuring that the families of the deceased could be adequately compensated by the federal government. The victims of the barbarous police killings should be identified and celebrated as heroes and heroines of the struggle for the emancipation of the downtrodden Nigerian people. Participation in peaceful protest should never be criminalized in Nigeria, he added. Falana criticized the federal government's response to the protest, including accusations against the use of being manipulated by frustrated politicians. He cited provocative statements by officials, such as Senate President Akpabio's remark that while you protest, we shall be eaten, the Vice President Kashim Shettima's description of protesters as idiots. In an effort to prevent the protest, the government reportedly met with political, religious, and traditional leaders and secured court orders to confine protests to designated areas. Despite these measures, the protests were conducted peacefully in many states, with incidents of violence primarily instigated by thugs and some overzealous police officers. Falana highlighted the illegal and unconstitutional nature of threat made by Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa to involve the military in quelling the protests. He stressed that the responsibility to manage protests lies with the police and called for a professional, restrained approach. We congratulate the protesters for drawing the attention of a few politicians who are eating in Abuja to the plight of millions of Nigerians who are hungry. We demand the immediate and unconstitutional release of all protesters that were arrested and detained because they have not committed any criminal offense, Falana reiterated. He urged President Tinubu to address the protesters' demands, particularly the reversal of a fuel subsidy withdrawal policy. Falana argued that addressing the root causes of the unrest, such as corruption and economic inequality, would help mitigate the protest and foster a more stable and just society. Before we end this video, let's take a look at some of the reactions we got online. Favor Chinonso says, may the leader understand the point you're making concerning the country palaver. Josh says, when Tinubu and others were protesting in 2012 against Jonathan, were they tagged frustrated politicians? APC as a party has no direction and inimical to the progress of Nigeria. Odinaka Amadi says, Onase Igbo man can never be a president of Nigeria, as if they are not humans. Ona never one learn for this country. Lastly, Oyedokun Raphael says, the issues in governance should not be exclusively left in the hands of politicians alone, but all hands supposed to be on deck, especially the professional bodies and enlightened individuals should not shy away from submitting their suggestions and their views concerning collective issues. May God deliver Africa. Omashola Brown says, my take is for the particular senator to be impeached for his usual inability to address issues when they happen. It was the same that exposed to the public how senators go home with abnormal bribes, and this time telling the Nigerian public to continue on the strike while he, as a senator, sits in the state provided house and eats away our common patrimony. He lacks the way to calm the Nigerian public in matters of concern. Not surprising, his tribesmen are known to be, I'm not going to say it, this is uncalled for. If you want to address a particular issue, address it without being tribalistic. Anyway, you all, let me have your thoughts in the comment section below. Like I said, Akpabio is just unbecoming. The other day, he was referring to Ireti King Gibe, telling her that she should wait until she's being called upon to talk because she's not in the club. Like, that's, oh my gosh, it's just so disrespectful. And I'm so glad that a lot of people took it up and started attacking him online. And we got his half-assed apology. But you all, thank you very much for always listening and watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.